Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Something different today, a bit of a branch away from the part work models. I'm going to be doing a kit model, and this kit is from Mobius. It's from 2001 A Space Odyssey. I'm going to be building the Space Station 5. Now, I've had my eye on this for quite a while, and to be honest with you, as soon as I saw this released, I had to get hold of it. So I got it from Cult TV Man in the US. I'm actually in the UK, and the problem is, I don't even think this is released in the UK yet. I think it actually comes out in November time, but it is available to pre-order at the moment. So if you are in the UK, go to your local model shop, and I'm sure they can pre-order this in for you. If you want to get it now, then obviously you could probably get this from Cult TV Man. If he's still got some in stock, I mean, this is flying like hotcakes. I have put in the links all the links to Cult TV Man, and also for 7View Hobbies, which I got some of the masks from, the Aztek Dummy masks, which I'm going to need for that. Now today, all I'm going to be doing, trying to start this off, is to do the outer ring of the space station, get it lit, and probably put some masks on as well. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So this is what the box looks like. The box is actually a lot smaller than I thought it was. Skill level 4, ages 15 and up, and it's a 1/600 scale all plastic model kit. Now the box, just so you know, is roughly around about 35 centimeters by about 30 centimeters by about 15 centimeters. And this will be the first time that I've taken this off. So I'm going to break the vacuum seal. Slowly it takes to get that off, and we'll have a look at what this looks like inside. And there you go, there are all the parts. Now obviously we've got the instruction guide here, and this is all the parts of the space station here. So let's do a quick unboxing of this. Now I have already been told that once I take these out of the box, I'm never going to get them back in the box again afterwards. So obviously we've got the outer ring here, we've got some parts for the construction ring in here, and they are sprues galore, as you can see that. Now a lot of these have been duplicated up, so these are injected molded, and it's been repeated 4 times by the look of that. So I'm guessing that the ones we've got single on are single injections, and then these ones like this here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. There's 8 of all the same one there, I'm guessing, looking like that. We've got some more parts there, looks like of the construction ring. And then finally, we've got this part here as well. This is duplicate here. So the last part we've got is this base. Now I'm not going to be using the base, but I probably will be using this 2001 logo here for the idea that I've got. So to that end, the first thing I'm going to need is a way to actually power this model. Now, Lou Del Meso on the Aztek Dummy channel had the perfect idea for that, and that is by using a 3.5-inch jack, which is going to go inside the space station, and this is the part that's going to slowly rotate. And then, quite simply, electric's going to be carried by a normal headphone jack. Now, that can't come out of here, but it can spin, as you can see there, and that will keep a constant connection. And again, my hat's off to Lou Del Meso at Aztek Dummy, because that's exactly how he's done his. But I'm going to do something slightly different with mine, because this is only providing the electric power. What I need is a motor to provide the rotation. And for that, I've got this motor here. Now this motor I got from Amazon. It's got a 6mm shaft on it, and it goes 2 RPM at 12 volts. If I was to drop that down to 9 volts though, it goes roughly between 1 and 2. So I believe Ken Spriggs on his site gave it around about 45 seconds, I think he said, for a full rotation of the space station. So I can get that with this. But the way I'm going to be doing this is, if I put a roller on this to give you an idea, it's not going to be like that. This is going to be sitting in the base, the space station is going to be sitting on there, and this roller is going to push it round. So it's going to slowly go round. But the motor's not going to be this far close to the outer ring, because that's where this is going to be contacting. The motor's actually going to be sitting in the back here. I just want to give you an idea of that. And I'm going to use my ruler, because I haven't got a brass rod yet, as an example. That's going to go kind of like that into the base, and then the rollers are going to be on the ends. The space station will be mounted around about here. That will be the back ring, which is the construction ring, and the front ring will be about here, and it's going to be resting on this rubber roller here, which is going to slowly rotate it round. Now, all of this will be hidden. The only thing you're going to see is this rubber ring coming up from the surface. Probably you'll have around about that much showing. So it does make things look really tidy, and really that's the only thing that's going to be visible. Now, because of that, it does mean I am going to be sacrificing the rear entrance of the space station, which if you look on the film is red, saying that you can't enter from that way if something's coming from the other way. And I'm guessing in sci-fi, if a ship was coming from the way the clipper goes in, that side would be red and then the other side would be blue. But I'm not going to be able to mimic that because this whole section here means I've got to blank out the back plate to be able to mount that space station too. The other thing is that when the space station's on, and I like using anything to hand that I've got to give you an example of what we're doing, I'm not going to be mounting it like that. If that was the space station going, I want to put it slightly at an angle there. So this outer rim here is what the rubber roller is going to be rolling against, kind of like that. But I don't want it completely straight. I do want it at an angle kind of like that. Now for that, it does mean that I'm going to have to Tinkercad my own design base. I'm going to have a rod in the back here. I want the back section to be as minimal as I can possibly get it, just to mount it, but the base is going to have to be chunky enough to house that motor and roller system. So I'm hoping that's gave you an idea of what I'm going to be doing there. So to that end, these are the instructions, and you've got an important read this first. You know me and instructions, I very rarely read anything. I'm not going to be doing it in this order as well. They want us to create the central stalk first. This is talking about how to do the landing bay and the sections here and the outer ring. Now, I'm going to start where most people are starting, to do the outer ring and to light this. I will be using Aztek Dummy masks on this as well. I am lighting this. So once everything's together, we do have these outer sections here which hide the seam around here, which is pretty cool. Putting the middle in, as you can see. Then once we've done that, we start working on the construction ring, looking just like this. And they are pretty comprehensive instructions. We do need to make sure things are the right way round and everything's in the right place and we're using the correct piece, because some of these pieces look very similar, which they're not. So we need to make sure of that. We've got a little clipper here. By the end of it, it's going to look just like this. But R1, as you can see there, is going to be rotating. So to that end, it's going to be this packet that I'm going to need first. If I get my blade out to cut this open, so we can have a look at this outer ring. Now it is very clever how this has been done. As you can see, you've got two injection molded parts which are exactly the same, and exactly the same on the other side. We've got two of the other side which are exactly the same as well. So what I'm going to do is get my sprue cutters to take this off. Now I bought some special sprue cutters for this special build. These are brand new. These are called steady cutters, and unlike normal sprue cutters, one side is dead sharp and one side is a blank metal, and you'll get a much cleaner cut out of it. Matter of fact, let me give you an example of that. If I just show you this one here, which I'm about to cut off, if I put this up against here and slice, you'll see how clean that comes off there. Brilliant. So let's get these off. I do find it funny while I'm tidying these edges up, just taking off these burrs with a really sharp scalpel. I can't stop humming the Blue Danube music. So now that we know that these are mirrored, this is how this is going to be going together. Basically, they interlock on each side like this for that one, and exactly the same on the other side as well. So I'm going to put these together now. Just clip them in each side just like that. And then to hold this in place, I am going to be using a little bit of Tamiya extra thin cement here, making sure that that joint's nice and tight. And just feed this down here. And then just do the same on the other side. I'm just going to reinforce that on the other side as well, just by putting some around these edges here to stop them unclipping. Now normally I would use super glue, as you know, on this, but because this is unpainted, untouched model plastic, this stuff's going to work absolutely perfect. So that's one side of the ring complete. And if you are now wondering about what the diameter is of this, you can see, that's roughly 34 and a half centimeters. That's how much that is. So let's do the other side, and exactly the same again. Just lock these into place, and then I can glue this together. Now I'm not going to pin this together at the moment, but this is kind of like how this is going to be going, just like that. As you can see, we do have the negative and positive pins on this side. So when we put it together, it's going to go just like that there. Now obviously what I'm going to be doing, just putting that in so it gives you an idea there. As you can see, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be lighting this. Now, the way to light this, I've been having a good think about this. Now there's going to be light everywhere in this because I am going to be using a strip light, and it's going to end at one of these points here, so I can trowel some wires off down the middle here. Now the problem with the strip lights is that if I have them anywhere in here, it's going to light it up like a Christmas tree no matter what I want. So to minimize that, I think I'm going to be putting the strip light around this outer edge here facing in. So it's not so hot where the windows are by having it in the middle or along this edge. Now I do have some white strip lighting to put in, but I do need to solder some wire to it that's coming off into this direction. So let me get that now. So this is the brand of strip lighting I'm using. It's called Lepro. It's just white strip lights. This one does come with an adapter, but I'm not going to be using this adapter. What I am going to be doing is I'm going to be soldering 2 wires to these copper points just here. Let me do that now. So what I'm using here is just basically a photo etch part bender here, and I actually use this to solder with, believe it or not. So I clamp this into this little jig, just like that. Saves me burning my cutting mat there. And then rather than solder a great big wire to this, because I'm not sure what length I'm going to need, I actually solder a JST lead. So I can just plug and play into the next component, which is going to be the center landing bay section. But I want to make sure that I don't get myself confused by putting the black onto the negative terminal and the red onto the positive terminal. Now, to clean my soldering iron, I haven't cleaned it for ages, I've got some copper wool in here. Just rubbing that on here makes that lovely and clean, as you can see. I normally solder at a temperature, just so you can see here, of roughly, God, my eyesight's terrible, just shy of 400 on there. The other thing that I do is I've got some flux in here, and I just tend to drop some flux just onto these contact points here. Not a lot, that's enough, so that when I actually solder this into place, and I've got the solder here, it's going to solder nice and clean. So what I'll do is I just lay the positive side down first. I do try and find something heavy that can just hold that into place. And then let's just put a blob of solder on here. Just like that, nice and clean. Do the same on the other side. Line it up. I'll put another blob on this side. Perfect. And as you can see, that's soldered on. It's then just a case of when I put this on, ensuring that this wire here is going to be going out of this section just there, as you can see that. So what I can do, start taking this adhesive off and ensure this is uniform going all the way around. Now before I seal it completely, I'm just going to be putting some insulating tape just over the solder joints I've done here, like this, because I don't want the contacts of this side of the LED strip to be touching the contacts of this side of the LED strip, if that makes sense. It also stops, if I pull this, it just coming straight out of there. But there you go. That is what that's looking like when it's all in place, nice and tidy. So let's test this light system. So I'm just going to zoom out the cameras here. Let's do the top one as well, so we can do a lighting test. So all I've done is created this Wago clip, couple of Wago clips, one for the adapter and one for the female JST lead here. So it's just a case of plugging a 12-volt supply into there and then putting this into here, and hopefully the lights are going to come on. Which they do. As you can see, really good. I don't even need to turn the lights off. Look, if I do the turn lights off anyway, you can see exactly how that looks. Now I want to show you what this looks like when the outer ring's on. So if I just pass that wire underneath, that'll enable me to get the upper ring on. Let's put the upper ring on here, exactly as that's meant to go in. Just like that. And that works perfect. But herein lies the issue now. Now, in all of these windows, they're going to be masked off with Lou Dalmaso's Aztek Dummy masks. But everything else here is going to need to be light blocked. Now, I don't want to light block it from the inside because then I'm going to hide these windows. So all the light blocking has got to be done from the outside here. So herein lies the issue. What I'm going to be doing is probably putting a coat of, I'm guessing, just having a think, perhaps silver or black first, and continue doing that until the light is at minimal, and then I'll probably start putting the insignia white coat on it. It's going to be like a grey actually rather than insignia white, a lightish grey, but we'll see how that looks at the moment. But the way things are going at the moment, as you can see there, that's looking pretty good. Just turn the lights back on again. I think it will come out better actually on a camera picture. Let me take a picture of that. As a matter of fact, my phone video gives a much better impression of how that looks, as you can see. So, pretty happy with that idea. I like how that is going to be looking. Excellent. So, it's these sprues here that I'm interested in now, because all of the outer ring for the space station is going to be on here, and it's these big ones I want first. These are labeled 29. Let me just show you where we're up to with this ring. I can take these rings off now. What I've done is I pushed all of the sides together. I pinned them in the inside. What I didn't do is I didn't put any glue in the pins in the inside. This ring is actually glued together on the seam around the outside. And as I said earlier, I used the Tamiya extra thin cement. So we're pretty much ready now to put the outer and inner rings in. Now, if I just grab one of these and cut this off. Now, I'm just looking at them. They are exactly the same design on each one. So it doesn't really matter which one we take off. They're all 23s. Just zoomed up the camera. It's easy to get a nice clean cut on top, but because that sprue is actually attached at an angle, you are going to need to just file off the burr on the angle there, both sides. So this is what that side panel looks like, and as you can see, we do have this cross section just here. So if I put the cross section in here just at the side, you can see how this fits in. It fits in absolutely perfectly. And then once I've done that one, I'll be working my way around doing the next ones in there like that. So again, I'm going to use my extra fine thin cement to put all of these in around the outside. And when the outer ring is done, it should look all like that. Very clean. Really happy with that. It takes away all the seam lines as well, which I think is brilliant. Okay, we're going to do the inner ring now. Now the inner ring is comprised of these parts, which are parts 30, and there's 4 of these to put in place. So I'm just going to take these 4 off each of these sprues. So I've just put one in. I haven't actually glued it in yet, but that's how they look when they're in, nice and flush. So I'm going to get all of these glued in around here. Now the capillary action works so good on this. All I have to do is just touch this in one place and you can see it branching out in both directions. It's so clever. But it's made short work of gluing all of these in. So there's nothing. Let me just do this last bit here. There's nothing in the internals of this space station or this inner ring or the outer ring that's glued down. It's glued down by the edges of everything. I don't need these clamps anymore because that is complete. So basically we've done all the outside, and as you can see we've done all the inside. Now we're still to do this cross section here and the great big landing bay, shuttle bay, whatever you want to call it, docking station, that's what it is, in the center. But we've got a really big job to do now. So what is that big job to do? Well, if I just plug this back in again, so you can see how this looks. Looking pretty good with the outside rings done now. If I turn these lights off actually, and then give you an idea of how that's looking at the moment, I need to do a lot of light bleed because obviously everything's bleeding at the moment. The only things that I want to be able to be seen, if I turn the lights back on, and I'll unplug this now, are the tiny windows. Let's zoom up the camera. Are the tiny windows you can see there, which means I need to mask them off. Oh dear. So luckily my good friend Lou Dalmaso has already made some masks, and these are available in the UK from 7 View Hobbies and in the US through Cult TV Man, and this is what they look like. I got mine from 7 View Hobbies, so they look like this. Inside there's a full instruction guide how to install them. This is for the docking bay area. I'll do them in the next video. I'm interested in these windows, and he does provide many spares. But as you can imagine, these are going to be really, really tiny. So let me just show you what these look like. They're on here like that. Hopefully the light can show you on there. Now I'm sure Lou has a brilliant way to do this, but I don't know. So I'm actually using a cocktail stick. And what I'll do is I'll roll this on to where it needs to be. And then I will put it into the exact position without pushing it down. And then when I've got it lined up exactly where I want it, that's when I will push it down, and then I'll go around the edges just like this to ensure that that's lying flat in there. Now I think you can see this is going to take quite a while. I'll do one more, and I may as well do the group of 4 that I've got there. I do wonder, Lou, is this some of the tiniest masks you've ever done? But we'll see. It's good that they give you some movement before they need to be stuck down. There you go. I'll go around the outside. Just so you know, I already blunted the end of this so that it's not sharp. So that when I do go around like this, there's no danger of me pulling it around or stuff like that. But that's exactly what that's looking like. Now, the windows are only on this outside section here, but on both sides. So you can see this is going to take a long, long time. So I think that will be a good place to leave it. And then when we come back in the next video, we'll have all of this masked off. So there you go. It took 4.5 hours, but the masks are on both sides of this outer ring. So in the next video, I'm going to be working on the spokes and the inner docking bay. So that's what's coming. But that was a branch from normality, wasn't it? I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.